DC's got a brand new era starting, right? The DCU is dead. Long live the DCU. As Aquaman 2 finished out the run of the DCEU, at least becoming the first DCEU film in 8 movies in 5 years that actually crossed the $400 million mark. Well done, Aquaman 2.
Yeah.
Well done. So it's time for a new era. They got to get things started. They got to start from scratch, whatever. So they're starting off with their best lead foot, Superman. Now we got Comic-Con coming up. And James Gunn is a big fan of Comic-Con. He loves Comic-Con. So a lot of people have kind of been assuming that James Gunn would go to Comic-Con to maybe not make new announcements, but just to highlight and talk about the projects they've got going, generate some excitement. Well, we assumed wrong because James Gunn just confirmed on his social media on Threads, he ain't going to be there. This comes to us from the folks at the San Diego Comic-Con blog who wrote, "For anyone hoping for their first look at Warner Brothers' new universe under the helm of James Gunn and Peter Safran at San Diego Comic-Con this summer, if it happens, it looks like James Gunn at least won't be in attendance. The Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad director confirmed on Threads that he won't be at Comic-Con this year as he'll be busy filming the upcoming Superman film."
That's right.
As far as excuses go for missing the convention, it's a good one. And so the post in particular comes from somebody on Threads asking him straight up, "James, are you excited about Comic-Con?" And just very short, James said, "I'm not going to be there. I'm going to be shooting. I'm going to be filming," which is a bummer. I mean, it is a bummer. Now, it's important to note, he did not say DC won't have a presence there.
Yeah.
He didn't say my partner, Peter Safran, won't be there. He didn't say that. I mean, maybe it means DC doesn't have a presence there this year, which would suck.
I wouldn't like count out the fact that if they do a presentation, they might be like, "Hey, and James Gunn from the set of Superman," and
maybe
they have like a video
has
feed
a
or
quick little
something.
message
Yeah.
about blah, blah, blah. Now,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I saw a discussion this morning with somebody saying, well, can't you, it's like a day. Can't you just take like a day?
Dude.
And that's a fair question to ask, right? Except when you keep in mind here that let's assume this movie's going to be, it's not going to be super expensive. Let's say it's going to be a $200 million movie. And they got a 120-day shooting schedule. That means every day is costing you almost $2 million a day. And is that worth it? Probably not. Especially when you got people in their flow and working and all that kind of stuff, and your crew's all there, your set's there, James Gunn's in a flow, and you're in the midst of making your movie. Now, we have seen filmmakers step away from their sets to go to Comic-Con, but they've never been making a movie as important as this one, and how big it is.
I'm probably on the side of this is great news. He's concentrating on what's important. Giving us a first good movie. You have tons of Comic-Cons after this one to appear, and when you have your ball rolling already.
Yeah,
Like
San Diego's not the only game in town.
Sometimes you count your chicken, before they hatch. You don't want to do that. You want to focus on the task at hand, and that's what I love hearing this. To be honest,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes Comic-Con needs to just go back to comics. Selling comic books maybe one year. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's when nobody went.
Yeah, but that's when there's not a lot of people there.
Well, I mean, but at the same time, I mean, this goes to a kind of a bigger discussion too, right? Like at the same time, the reality is on an average year, 120,000 people go to Comic-Con, right? Flood into San Diego. You know how many people fit in Hall H? 6,000. 6 out of 120,000 people there. Essentially, nobody that goes to Comic-Con would actually be in Hall H for a James Gunn presentation anyway.
I don't know how many years we covered it with AMC and Collider. I've yet to actually set foot in Hall H, and I've been there working.
The only time in the past 7 years that I went into Hall H was when I was a moderator, when I was like hosting one of the panels. That's it. I mean, it's just so, I don't know how big of an impact that'll actually have on it, but I was just kind of looking forward to whatever the presentation was going to be.
Sure.
And even hearing about it afterwards, even if I wasn't going to be in the hall. But I echo what Ray said. I mean, look, this movie is the most important thing DC has done in ages, because if you botch this Superman movie, I think you're screwed for the next 5 years.
Absolutely.
Keep your focus where it needs to be. But Rob, I mean, Hopes is still there. He didn't specifically say DC won't have a presence. He didn't say Peter Safran won't be there. What do you think about James Gunn's comments? And with those comments, what do you think the chances are that we still get some form of a DC presentation at Comic-Con?
Well, as you know, I worked on Superman Returns.
Yes.
I was there the entire, for San Diego, we flew from Australia to San Diego to present for the very first time HD in Hall H. It was the first time HD was presented there. I actually made a video along with Adam Robitel and Todd Stanley on this whole journey that you can watch. I think it's on YouTube. It's one of Brian's journals. I think it's called 24 Hours in San Diego, where they had to stop in Hawaii, and we busted our asses to get this footage to show. And whatever you think of the movie, that trailer went over like gangbusters in Hall H. So it can be done. Doesn't matter how deep into filming you are, it can be done. And we started shooting in March, kind of the same way they did, so same amount of time. That said, John, they know they could show you the greatest piece of footage in the world that would excite everybody. Half the internet's going to hate it. There's no benefit for them to show anything from this movie until it is absolutely ready. I think, like you've pointed out, there's way too much writing on this. And I think it's a conscious decision. They've already got, I mean, you make a comment, look at how an AI-generated photo suddenly makes people go
that's
bananas.
Right. We talked about that the other day.
Yeah, there's nothing to be gained by them going to Comic-Con now. Nothing. They're way too early in the process. This is not just another superhero movie. This is the beginning, the dawn of, as you put it, a 10-year plan.
A dawn of justice, maybe?
Whoa.
Don't.
I just
Sorry,
think,
I regret that. I
just think that there's nothing to be gained. And when we do see what they're going to show us, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be exactly the right thing. And everyone's going to be like, even the most staunch internet trolls are going to be like, that's pretty good. I mean, I honestly believe that, because I have utter faith in James Gunn and Peter Safran, the cast, everything they've got. I want to hear Wendell Pierce say something in whatever trailer they give us. Kent,
get in here.
Whatever he says. It's going to be, I can't wait for it, but there's no reason to go to Comic-Con now. Not with the amount of what's riding on this movie.
I agree with you, and I would feel differently if, say, Superman was 5 months away.
Yeah.
Right? Then there's actual tangible benefit for starting the whole
in
momentum
post.
building up. But the movie's still a year away. And now, I can already hear some people saying, well, wait a minute. James Gunn had just started shooting Guardians of the Galaxy, and they stopped production. They went to Comic-Con, showed that, just like the little footage that they shot in the first week there. Yeah, but that was in the midst of a massive Marvel presence, in the midst of a massive upswing with the Marvel Cinematic Universe that was already completely healthy and making billions, and it was a small group of characters. The importance of this movie is so huge. I just don't know you can get away from it.
No one knew the Guardians, so they had to hype it up. I mean,
you
most
had to at
people
least
didn't know.
introduce people to the concept of something to be aware of.
What's crazy to think about is this might be one of the first Comic-Cons where we don't see plastered on the wall any Marvel projects, any DC projects, because Marvel only got, Deadpool this year?
They had Deadpool.
So it's kind of like...
And they got Agatha coming at some point.
Yeah.
Agatha's going to be coming along.
Right.
It's kind of like there's kind of like a way for these smaller movies maybe to shine this year at Comic-Con, to take the spotlight. It would be interesting to see what people are talking about after the weekend is done.
Maybe Creature Commandos. I don't know when that debuts, but they might promote that.
And you don't need James there for that. James is not even the director of that. So, I mean...
Bring the cast, bring the director, do whatever you want to do there, though.
We want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Factor. Guys, some days it's great to prepare your own meal, but some days it's great to have wonderful, delicious meals already ready to go. Factor's delicious, ready-to-eat meals makes eating better every day easy. Wherever tomorrow takes you, be ready with pre-prepared, chef-crafted, tested and dietitian approved meals delivered right to your door. You'll have over 35 different options a week to choose from, including keto, calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and more. And there's even more to enjoy with over 55 nutrition-packed add-ons that help make your weekly meal planning even more delicious. So what are you waiting for? Get started today and have a feel-good week of meals ready to go. They've got snacks, smoothies, and more. Discover a wide variety of easy options for the entire day, like breakfast, midday bites, and more. And guys, you get to save. We've done the math. Factor is less expensive than takeout, and every meal is dietitian approved to be nutritious and delicious. So guys, head to factormeals.com/Campea50 and use the code Campea50 to get 50% off. That's code Campea50 at factormeals.com/Campea50 to get 50% off.
I mean,
Do you think DC will announce that, hey, Peter's going to go and we'll still have a DC presence? Or do you think DC's just going to be absent?
You know what? I think it's important for the brand.
I agree.
I was thinking the same thing.
You know, I mean, I think it's Comic-Con, as Brian said. This is Superman and this is Comic-Con. That's why he said he wanted to go. But in this case, you know, Superman is a thing unto itself, but they've still got a ton of other stuff happening.
Yeah.
So why not promote their slate or whatever?
Give us an updated 5-year plan.
Yeah, and also if they announce a new actor for Batman, bring him out, trot him out.
That could be a time to do it.
You know, I mean, trot him out. And here's we're going to announce the cast of Brave and the Bold. Here you go.
You know what? I shouldn't do this.
No, don't.
Oh boy, what is it,
bro?
Because this isn't something that's in a movie, but you'll see this in the trades in the next couple of days. But I have found out for sure, Alan Ritchson is the new Batman. No, I'm kidding. I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Dude,
that
already and put out on the.
That's gonna be
John Campea says Alan Richardson's the new Batman.
No,
it's already on the internet.
And maybe it will. But listen, by the way, if they do announce that he's it, total coincidence that I just made that joke.
Sure.
Just
sure.
Well, no one's
Way to
gonna
cover your ass there, buddy.
Just let
sure.
you know.
I'm so down for Richardson as
I think he'd be a great Batman.
Did you see the video he put up? He was cleaning the back of his car, and he was talking about how his son projectile vomited all over the back of their Escalade.
I did not see this.
It was such a sweet video, and he's like, here's the important thing, and he was saying, you have to understand, and the point that he was making as he's cleaning, he's using simple green, but his point was, he wanted his kids to know that it really doesn't matter that you blew chunks all over the back of this Escalade. What matters is that we're family. This can be cleaned up. You don't have to feel embarrassed or whatever, and these things will go away. It doesn't matter that something like this happened. I'm not going to get mad at my kid because he blew chunks in the back of my very
wait till
car.
he's 22 and blow up chunks of alcohol.
Well, anyway,
We're family, Dad.
I love the video he made. It was on. I saw it on Instagram. I'm like, if you want to make me love that guy more than I already do, that was the way to do it. It was a very sweet video, and I was like, I wish he was my dad.
Can I just?
I had a great dad. I don't have a dad.
Well, listen, we've gone way off. We've gone way off.
You brought him up.
Man,
I'm just telling you.
It's true. I'm the one who brought up Alan Ritchson.
But speaking of Alan Ritchson and Batman, this is someone I prefer, and I would actually like him to play Hush.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd be good.
But that's
100%.
further down the line.
As you know,
What's that?
Wouldn't that be further down?
Or you could lead off with that. I mean, who knows what James Gunn's going to do in that wild imagination of his? But one thing we know for sure, that wild imagination won't be at Comic-Con. Guys, question is for you. What do you think? Is this the right, responsible decision that James Gunn is making to say, look, we're in the throes of it, and probably by that point, they're going to be in the home stretch of wrapping up filming, to stay focused, keep everything on target? Or do you think and remember, this movie is still like a year away, more than a year away. So what do you think? Right move, wrong move, whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.